Happy Friday. What an incredible day this is. You really can't draw it up any better in East Tennessee. Maybe a little bit less pollen, but other than that, it's just picture perfect. Almost a carbon copy of yesterday. I just love springtime in East Tennessee. Here on our back deck here at the house. I planned on posting a devotional yesterday, but about the time I was going to begin, Missy called me and said that Jackson's car had died. Long story short, he was driving to meet a friend to go help mow some yards, and his alternator failed and all the power went out, and he had to park in a parking lot of a local business. The good news was he was in a safe place and it didn't happen on I-40 as he was driving that way. But nonetheless, the day that had been so well planned was pretty much thrown up into the air. It was shot. And as I posted yesterday, the extraordinary broke into the ordinary. So a new plan had to be hatched for the day. I drove to meet Jackson where he was, a very familiar place to our family. Fortunately, he was over towards the high school where he goes, parked across the street from the football stadium. Got there, made sure it wasn't more than what I thought, a bad alternator, like I'd know. But there was no smoke and there were no odd smells. So next thing, call AAA, wait for the tow truck, then meet the tow truck down at the garage where we were going to have the vehicle fixed. Now, there was no question in my mind where we were going to take Jackson's car. One of my old friends, known him since we were in the 4th grade at Pleasant Ridge Elementary School, has a service station or a garage out on Western Avenue. And actually, before I got to Jackson, I called Mike and told him what was going on. And in typical Mike human fashion, he said, "Just get little Bostic's car down here and we'll take care of it." It's good to have friends. On the way down Western Avenue towards Mike's shop, I reminded Jackson of that. It's good to have friends because friendships are so important in our lives. They're critical to our well-being. They influence us and we influence them. As my grandmother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. Friendships are a lot like checking accounts if you think about it. There's a balance in the account that's made from the investment that we put into it. We make withdrawals from the account from time to time and we put investment back into it. But if we only withdraw from the account, one day that account becomes overdrawn and the checks start to bounce. Today I want you to think about your friendships. How are you investing in them? And what are you withdrawing from them? You have to do both for it to be a healthy friendship. So often we try to do it on our own. We like to stand on our own 2 feet. Our friends know when we need something and they'll ask, "Hey, is there something I can do to help you?" And we'll say, "Oh no, everything's fine, everything's fine." You're not making a withdrawal from an account that someone else is also investing in. And that's not fair to the friendship. I really loved it yesterday on our church group me message page when I saw that Leona and Hope were going to go out to make a grocery run, wearing their mask, wearing their gloves, full of hand sanitizer, I'm sure, and observing the 6-foot social distancing rule in line. But they ask anybody in the church, "Do you need anything? We'll be glad to go and do it for you. Thanks for being such great friends, Hope and Leona." I know so many other people are doing the same thing. That's just what we do for one another. One of our favorite hymns at church is "What a Friend We Have in Jesus." During these days when we are finding unique circumstances due to the social distancing, I think those words really have a new meaning. What a friend we have in Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege it is to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear, all because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. I think there's the message for us today. Don't miss out on the privilege and stop carrying around needless things with you when you've got a friend who's willing to help you ease the burden. Take it to God in prayer, praying in Jesus' name. In the 15th chapter of John's Gospel, we see the value that Jesus places on friendships and what he requires his friends to do. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. You are my friends, if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all things I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. These things I command you, that you love one another. Have we trials and temptations? Is there any trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful, who will all our sorrows, and I would add joys, share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Today I'm praying for you, my friends. I'm looking forward to worshiping with you this Sunday on our Facebook live stream from church at 11 a.m. But until then, if you need anything, let us know. And love one another. And thank you for being a friend.